your guys and girls.
Thank you.
DPW, and I'll hold on to.
Appreciate it.
I will hold on to this for. Do you have your point? Barry?
Thank you, Mayor. Moving on, closed session, resolution 68/2026 authorizes council to go into closed session. I believe we have a couple, small issues to go into closed session. We'll try not to be too long.
Make a motion for closed session?
Second?
Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Newey?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes. All right, excuse us for a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Can I get your signature?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Brown's Mills. I'd like to bring up some old business. Back a few months ago, I requested the cost to the township up to this point, back then, of the settlement cost the township is going to have to pay out, and the cost of representation in those legal matters. And the reason I think that's important to bring up is because we are considering a change of government, and I think seeing what that cost us with this present form of government would be something the public should be aware of. If they're going to make a decision on changing the form of government, they ought to see why this particular form of government failed us for a while, and what it cost us going into the future as well. So I don't know if that number is being accumulated anywhere, or if anyone is looking at it and tallying up is what it's going to cost us at the end of the day when we're all done with this. But even bringing it up to this point in time, I think would be important for the public to be aware of. Just because if you're going to make a change in government, you need to know why is it being considered, and this would be why, one of the reasons for sure. And probably the primary one, based on what we just went through. So that was my first order of business, if you will. The water department. I note we have a number of dollars being considered here tonight to vote on as far as the water department is concerned for funding and bonding. And at the last meeting that I attended, I was pleased to hear that we were able to get our cost for the Greenberg project down from 10 million to 2 million, I think it was, as I recall. And the question I have is, why did we start out at 10 million? Who came up with that? Why it was negotiated the way it was? Because from my point of view, developers should be paying us, not us funding them. I don't know how that works, but that's the way it worked when anybody wants to connect to our water lines. You pay a fee. And I don't know how we prevent that from happening in the future when a developer comes to us, but certainly we should never be in a position to have to be paying out money for them to develop property that they're going to make a profit off of, and we're going to be paying out of our pockets in taxes. So that was my second comment. And the other comment I have is just about a property out on South Pemberton Road, former country house property. Sitting there for months now. Nothing seems to be going on. The fence has been there for forever, and they've put black plastic around it so you can't see directly behind it. But I'd like to know what's happening with that property. It was a valuable commercial property at one point. I don't know what's going on with it, but I thought I would ask. And to follow on with that, curiosity, we now have the weed dispensary in town. And just past that is an open property with a shack on it. And that's my time. I'd like to know what's going on with that because it's been there for, I don't know how long, a couple of years it looks like.
All good questions, Mr. Fallon. I'm gonna do what I can. On the first one, I'm assuming you're talking about our previous mayor's expenses.
Whose name shall be unnamed at this point.
You can over-request anything that has been finalized through the courts, and they'll be glad to give you what you need to get. We still have a few cases pending that we cannot speak on, but I'm sure you can get those numbers by putting in an open request for what has been settled so far. And as on the water bond issues, as far as K-Hub, yes, we did, past administration made a bad deal. That's all I can say about that. We renegotiated that deal down to where we're not going to be paying anywhere near as much. And the reason for the bonding is because even though the developer is paying us, they're paying us in stages, and we have to show that we have the money to start the work. We will get a majority of that money back. If to anything else, the country house, I'm gonna turn you over to our,
So the country house, they are under a stop work order currently, that administration, gave them because they were in violation of their development deal. They were doing things they shouldn't have been doing. So that's where we are with that right now.
So it's basically at a standstill?
Correct.
What were they going to do?
So they were, trying to build a warehouse without prior approvals. So, I issued the stop work order when I was the community development director. They are currently before the zoning board. Their case has not been heard yet because the review's not complete. But, they do wanna do indoor storage of multi-vehicles and things like that. So it's a little complex. But right now they're trying to seek the use variance. If they get the use variance, they then have to go for the site plan approval and get obviously the county approval on soils conservation and everything.
Wonderful. Regarding the cost, is someone there actually going to be able to pull together the attorney fees and costs? Because I'm sure your firm didn't do it for free.
We do.
that was done through the insurance companies, attorneys and stuff. I'm not sure how close to the number they'll be able to get, I know they'll be able to give you the settlement amounts and probably a good portion of the legal fees. But
Okay.
I don't know, how close, but any of that stuff that has been finalized is available through an open request.
Okay, all right. I thought maybe someone was tallying it up because of what had happened.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on things, but, there's been so many and they're spread out over the last couple of years, so I don't have a good accurate amount, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening.
councilman, mayor, and administration, and everyone else, and residents, good evening. My name is Millie Tuches, and I live at 23 Leland Street. I only have a few questions because I know that our agenda is pretty long tonight. So, my first question has to do with resolution 74/2026. Termination of shared services agreement with Chemung for tax assessment. I know that this affects or could potentially affect our property taxes. So my questions are, why is the agreement being terminated? What will replace it? And will cost increase? That's the first one. The second one, and I'm only asking these questions because we have committed to, collectively, we've committed to transparency and being able to keep the residents informed. So, Resolution 79/2026, consenting to appointing of Warren R. Thomas IV as part-time purchasing agent. So I have some questions, and only because there have been some issues in the past where questions have arisen. How did we come to decide on this person? What were the criteria? What were the qualifications? So I'm going to ask, what qualifications and certificates does Mr. Thomas hold? Is he a qualified purchasing agent? Is that required under New Jersey law? Why part-time? Is this cost saving or temporary? Resolution 80/2026, appointment of Kenneth C. Gerber as Community Development Director. Also the same questions. What qualifications does Mr. Gerber hold? Planning license, AICP certification, municipal land use experience, what was the selection process? Has he previously worked for the township or any other township in this capacity? Those are my questions for tonight.
Very good questions, Millie. I'm gonna take a shot at the very first one, the tax assessor. The reason we're ending that shared service, he is retiring, and in order for us to go out and look for a new tax assessor, we have to sever the contract with this one right now. Cost, at this time, we don't know. You know, we have to, get people interested in it and see. Hopefully we can save some money, but, we really don't know at this point in time. It's a part-time job. The one right now works, he's supposed to be here 16 hours a week. So it'll probably be about the same amount of time. On your next question, the qualified purchasing agent, we had a temporary agreement with this individual. We do have to have a qualified purchasing agent under state law. He does have all the qualifications. We were hoping that we were gonna have somebody in-house to take that over. That's why it was only a temporary thing, but the person's still working on their schooling right now, so we're extending that contract for another 6 months. We only need somebody to do it on a part-time basis. And the last one, anybody else wanna take the mayor?
I will take this one, and that was about our new, community development director. Mr. Gerber is retired law enforcement. He served as the administrator and director of public safety at the city of Beverly. He has done security work. I'm reading this right now. I'll play it on my phone. So when we had interviewed Mr. Gerber, we took the totality of his experience. The fact that he was already the administrator in a township and director of public safety. And law enforcement to be an asset to assist Chief Glass, just as a sounding board, if you will. Those were really the qualifications that pushed them over the edge. But yeah, that's it. The other resumes that we had for this job didn't even met none of the qualifications.
That's good, so we all know, and I do have two questions I forgot that I wanted to ask. The master plan, I understand had to be redone, and where are we with that?
take control of that.
It's gonna happen, sorry, that one's not even working. So, oh, thank you.
We can hear you good.
Okay, good. So the planning board is working on the master plan. We should be reviewing the, revised version, I wanna say either at our March or April meeting. But I don't have an exact date on that, but it is the update is in process right now.
And last question, our fiscal year-end audit. Do we have a date for that? And do we already have an outside auditor assigned for that?
Well, mine doesn't work.
Do you have that, Candace?
Mine doesn't work either. Okay, so you have
Oh,
to
no,
start
now they're on.
Okay.
It should be working now, he plugged it in, yeah.
So we do have the fiscal year 2024 audit. I believe that it's scheduled to go on to the March 4th meeting. The 2025 is not statutorily required until June of 2025, and a lot of time that gets extended due to state guidelines and local finance notices. We are required to have a registered municipal accountant and RMA that is appointed every year. This year ours is Bowman, similar to last year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Millie, good question. Mr. Costa, okay.
How's everybody doing tonight? Alright, first and foremost, my name's Alexander Costa, I live at 2950 before I even begin on the agenda, I just wanted to say, this meeting marks 1 year since we started live streaming our township council meetings, so the 1 year milestone has already hit. It also is the 1 year milestone since those gates and that very sad railing was installed against me. It was, just so horrible. Alright, 71 2026 and 72 2026. How many members will be appointed and which council members will be appointed to these committees? Or will the mayor be appointed to any of these committees, or is he sitting on both of these committees? The second one, which Ms. Tuchez already got me answered, which was 74 2026. I don't have to touch that. Thank you, Ms. Tuchez. 76 2026. What is the amendment to the shared services agreement? 77 2026. How much is the grant going to be, and when do we expect to apply for it? And 78 2026. How much is the contract with Lou Environmental Services, and how long will the terms of the contract be valid for? For new business, my question is for the antifreeze removal, is this general maintenance? Does it have to be replaced every year, or is this just a one-time thing? And number two, my question is for the baseball, that's gonna be going across the street, right, for the baseball field? Right, okay. And, you know how we like to talk about the bill list. How much is the bill list for this week? And everybody's favorite part of the agenda, Alex's questions and comments. My first question is, do we know when the council will be voting on a resolution to put on the ballot a change for this form of government? My second one is a statement. Mr. Ward, thank you for your comments about the leaf machine towards the end of the meeting. I didn't know it takes 3 years to get a leaf machine, so we should apply for it immediately and get 3, 4. And the last one, which, Harry, you should be very happy, because somebody did go and write all the charges for the last few years of how much litigation and lawsuit settlement costs have been. That's how much it's cost the town. The town has incurred a cost of $572,199.95. With the insurance coverage, that cost comes to $2,145,000. If we did not have the insurance, the township would be on the hook for $2,717,199.95. That's a lot of money. Because this money is such grand in totality, it proves the point that the form of government we're in needs to be changed. One man was able to rack up the bill to $2,145,000. That's because we had insurance. But if we didn't have the insurance, the total cost would have been $2,717,199.95. So thank God we had the insurance. We can never let this happen again. This is why we need to change our form of government. Will you guys have on the agenda for the next meeting in March a resolution to put on the agenda to change the form of government? Yes or no? And that's it.
Thank you, Alex. Chris, I'm gonna start you off first. Can we have that for the next meeting?
Absolutely, I already prepared an ordinance, it's done by ordinance.
Oh, it's ordinance.
Okay, and I already prepared the ordinance. I will certainly take another look at the ordinance, I don't think there needs to be any revisions. But it's just a matter of preference by the governing body. Certainly you're making a request now. The necessity of having it on the ballot would require the governing body to adopt the ordinance prior to the printing of ballots. So there's a cutoff time period, I don't know exactly when it is. Certainly the clerk's office in Burlington County, it's sometime in August, you're absolutely correct. So the governing body has up until that point in time to enact the ordinance. Whether there's any benefit to enacting it now, I'm not so sure. I mean, there's an argument can be made that it commits the governing body, at least from a policy standpoint, ordinances can be repealed prior to the deadline of submitting the ordinances. And there's nothing more that can be done until the ordinance is adopted and on the ballot. No commissioners to the Charter Study Commission can be made because they're elected at that time in the November election. So the work of a committee wouldn't start until next year, correct. So there's an advantage of time, or perhaps a disadvantage of time, depending upon what your perspective is. But I just want to make sure that we're not missing any deadline should the governing body proceed with adopting the ordinance now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alex, I can help you out with 71 and 72. You were asking who from council is going to be on the ad hoc committee.
Yes, and will the mayor also be on these committees?
It's going to be Mr. Harper, Mr. Dewey, and the mayor.
Okay.
All right. 72, your economic and business development, that will be Harry Harper.
Can you repeat those things, Joe?
Sure. It's going to be Mr. Dewey, Mr. Harper, and the mayor will be on that, the ad hoc committee. Then you have Mr. Harper.
Give them the whole list if you want.
Oh, sure, if you want, absolutely, I'd be happy to.
Give them the whole list.
Aside from those three, you'll have Rosemary Flaherty as a liaison, Mrs. Patricia Everett for the administrator, Joseph Amison as a member, and Tracy Riccardelli as the other member.
And that's for 71?
That is for 71, yes, sir. For 72, you have Ms. Wenger. I hope I don't butcher this name. Ian Mascara as the PTHS, a high school FBLA student that's going to be on there. We have one non-resident business owner that hasn't been named yet, and Mr. Harper.
Thank you.
You know, that committee is a 7-member committee. The other members are Mrs. Reynolds, Deb Skipper, Eric Allen, and Rick Brown.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. 76, what's the amendment to the shared services agreement?
The amendment to the shared services agreement We've been in this agreement with the county since 2022 to conduct the Operation Helping Hands program in the town, where officers go out with recovery specialists. So the agreement itself is not to exceed $15,000, and it extends the agreement through the end of this year, so December 31, 2026.
All right, thank you.
And 77, Alex, that is a grant that comes to us every year through the state. The state filed a lawsuit against the opioid companies, and there was a settlement, and they divide that up between the counties and the municipalities. Without looking, I believe we got like 13,000 this year.
I'm sorry, Mr. Harper, that's incorrect, where the money comes from.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We did get money from the
Oh, this
opioid
is a
settlement.
different- this is
This is
different
what,
one.
we've been getting this TAG grant, which is the Township Alliance Group for, I think, as long as I've been here. So that's a long time.
I stand corrected, I'm sorry. I thought.
But
it was-
we did get some of that opioid
Yeah,
settlement.
okay, I'm sorry.
You're not alone, Harry, I got the same thing.
Thank you for correcting.
All right, 78.
Sure, if you can, Charles,
Okay.
go right ahead.
You had asked what the cost to the township would be of this, of accepting the Lou Environmental Services.
Yes.
According to their own agreement, there is no direct fee to the municipality from Lou. All fees are billable and payable to the property owner.
All right, thank you.
I was reading into that too, and administration, I'm gonna assume we just have to authorize and hire the company that's gonna do this for us, right? But we pay nothing for that.
So we had them last year, and this is, the lead inspection is a state mandated requirement, and every, inspection they do, they pay the $10 to the state on behalf of the township. So it's, they did a great job last year, we're just trying to continue, because we have to have everybody registered and inspected by 27.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, Alex?
New business, are these two things,
The antifreeze, yes. Tom, you wanna jump on that one? Glad you're here.
Thank you, sir. This is not a one-time expense, but it's not one that comes up very often. The sprinkler systems, fire suppression systems in the buildings are inspected annually. There's very specific UL code list requirements through NFPA code requirements that specify the concentration of antifreeze and type that's in your suppression system. As it gets tested year after year, if it degrades over time to a certain level, then it has to be replaced. Last time it was replaced was in February of 22. The most recent testing a month or so ago shows that it's degraded again below the allowed level, so we have to replace it. So it looks like it's probably a 3 or 4 year cycle that this would have to happen.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
And how much is the bill list?
I didn't flip all the way back.
I believe
I
it's.
can take this
There
one.
we go, Candace, thank you for being here.
So it's, $4,252,846.57. A little over 2 million of that goes to the school system.
All right, thank you. Are you shocked with the numbers?
No, I knew somebody would have it. Now Mr. Fallon doesn't need to file an Oprah request, he can just get it from you.
Alex, isn't it funny how fast you get questions when you have people here to answer them? Otherwise, those questions would have gone to Mr. Hornicle, or your previous mayor. They would have bounced off the correct department heads, and we'll get back to you. You'll get your answer in several days if you get one. You get them in 30 seconds.
Thank you guys for being here.
Okay, my name is Vicki Adams, I'm at 613 Sandra Drive, I haven't been able to be here the last couple of weeks because of illness. I do have several questions. I did come in when Miss Millie was up here asking, but I really didn't hear some of the answers. For the community developer, does this gentleman, whose name is, I'll make sure I say it correctly, Kenneth Berger, does he have a planning license, a planner's license? From what I understand, that's required by the state. Okay, I wanna know if he has that. And the experience that the mayor had said, if I'm not mistaken, was that he was in leadership and that he was a firefighter or chief of police or something like that. To me, that's nothing to do with community development. Community development is about construction, it's about, those types of things. I wanna know specifically what this person has to do with the code enforcement office, because that's what this person oversees, and stuff like that. I wanna know how much they're getting paid. And also I wanna know, why didn't we hire somebody from town? You know, did anybody reach out to Mark Runsa and see if he wanted to come back? He did a great job for us. Also, the same questions go for the person that you guys are hiring for the purchasing agent. There is a requirement that that purchasing agent have a license. Does he have that license? Okay, how much are you paying him? You know, we have this new list you want it, where does he fall on this new list that you're hiring? Is he gonna be on the low end? I mean, it's a lot of money, even for the low end of things, it's a lot of money for these people. I wanna know. Also, just brought up about 78, which was about the lead thing. This is no direct cost to the township, but to the property owners. Again, we're making the property owners, there's a lot of things in this agenda tonight that put a lot of money on the property people of this town and the citizens of this town. Not just the agenda, but the ordinances. And, I'm very concerned about what is happening there. I can go to the ordinances later, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll deal with that later. So I'd just like the answer to these few questions that I said about these 3 items.
If I can start,
Go ahead.
Harry, about
Go ahead.
the LEW Environmental Services, you're talking about the cost being put on, that is for rental units, okay? So we have some rental units in this town that have lead-based paint still in them.
That's fine.
So the lead-based paint to the residents who are renting those properties,
The
yeah,
residents don't pay it.
the
It's
financial
landlords.
responsibility falls on the property owners
Okay,
to have their
okay.
places safe. That's just common sense there. Yeah, we gotta make sure our residents are safe first.
Okay, I agree, thank you.
And on the QPA, yes, he is fully licensed and
The
certified,
QPA is,
qualified purchasing agent.
okay,
Okay, and the contract is for $750 a month. We have to have one by law. We don't need a full-time person. And the reason we have this contract is we're waiting for one of our people in the office to finish the classes, and hopefully they can take over. That's why it's only a short
so it's
term.
$750 a month?
A month.
Yes, if I can add to that, he is not only qualified with a license, he also teaches the classes for the license. He came recommended from our previous QPA, and from it, we're not mandated by the state to have one, it's not a mandatory position, however, it is mandated if we want to do certain, have certain thresholds in purchasing.
Okay, but I'm looking at this, I just did the math on that, $750 a month makes it $9,000. The threshold on here for the qualified purchasing agent that you guys have as the proposition going forward, a minimum of $5, a maximum of $10,000. This is a part-time person who's making $1,000 less than the maximum.
And that says, I believe, in-house, I believe that's
So
it.
that would be for the in-house, and that would only be for stipend. Through research, because we did look at what a QPA for this size town would mandate. You have to understand this size town does a lot more bidding than some of the smaller towns. Most QPAs wouldn't even walk in the door for $10,000. So he's actually giving us a discount, understanding that he is mentoring and teaching the person that will eventually in-house be taking over.
Okay,
the
do we
position.
have a selection for that person that he's mentoring and teaching?
We do.
And do you wanna share that with us?
I don't know if I'm allowed to share them.
Apparently you've already hired him, if you're teaching him.
They're already an employee, this would be an additional task that they would be taking on as an additional license, so it's not an additional.
So once that person is taught, is this person's wage then gonna go down?
No, that would be
Well,
an
then I think
additional,
this is
it would be an
ridiculous,
additional
guys.
amount of money for the
$10,000,
license.
$9,000 for somebody who's only here part-time.
No, that person is a full-time employee.
No, this person is a part-time employee that you are hiring.
Okay, so.
Vicky, I just think there was a little bit of confusion
Yeah.
because you're going back and forth
No,
between,
she's saying-
hold on.
I know what I'm saying.
Right, but
Okay. So if
I kept up with you, maybe she didn't because she was trying to answer. You're going back and forth between the part-time employee that we currently have and the full-time employee that we're trying to get to pass their license so that they can take over the position under a different pay
And
scale.
I understand that,
But
but
she-
I just asked if the part-time, if the person that is teaching right now, that we're getting ready to hire, was gonna go down in pay once this person is taught, and the answer was no.
I believe he would be vacated.
Yes, the QPA,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the QPA would be done once
So
we
how
have the
long of a
call.
process is this gonna be? Because we're paying $9,000 for 1 year of a person, in my opinion, that should not be getting that, he's part-time. He's not gonna be coming in here part-time, doing this, and then giving you extra time to teach. He's coming in here to do both of them.
No, he teaches the class, that's
He
a whole
teaches the
separate
class
thing.
on his own time, ma'am.
Yes.
What she was trying to tell you was she was trying to embellish the fact that not only is he qualified, he actually teaches the class for those who want to do the position that he has.
Okay, so that is above and beyond. I still think it's not. It's money we don't have to spend, guys. I mean, he should be hired on the low end of things, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm ready for the rest of the answers.
What's the other one you have?
The community developer, do they have the planner's license? And what other actual community development qualifications do they have? And I'm not talking about police chief, I'm not talking about leadership, I'm talking about in the community development.
I can just note off the top of, just to lay out, it is not a requirement that you need to have a planner's license. to
That's
be-
not true.
That is true.
Okay, I will look that up again, but I have been informed and I have read that they have to have a planner's license to be a community developer.
That's
Okay,
true.
so give me the qualifications of this person in community development then.
Community development directors oversee public safety, health and welfare. That's what
So,
they
but
do, they oversee it.
didn't you oversee construction and code enforcement also?
That's public safety, health and welfare through the
Okay,
UCC.
but this person has no qualifications in that, and this person is taking your position.
This
correct
person
or not?
was a director.
Excuse me, I'm talking to her at the moment. That person is taking over your position, and they don't have the qualifications to do that?
I believe they do have the qualifications, Ms. Adams. I actually looked at all the applications again today, and I would have picked the same person. Mr. Gerber is the best qualified applicant that.
Okay, and I wanna know.
Well, I believe we had this conversation before also. Didn't you advise me, ma'am, that of all the applications we got, there were no township residents?
Not any township residents that had any qualifications.
Well, apparently he doesn't have any either, besides being the police chief.
That's a really
Okay,
good
that's-
qualification.
That is not a good, that
They
is not.
can oversee
permanent.
public safety, health and welfare. The
There
chief of
is-
police is probably the
there
best
is-
person.
There is other people that can be trained and can learn as they go, as you know that. And you chose to bring somebody in who doesn't have the qualifications. I wanna know what this person is getting
Vicky,
paid.
your questions have been answered.
No, they haven't, the payroll has not been answered on this one.
We cannot even announce the payroll unless we've approved them.
Okay, well, at the end of the evening tonight, when you announce whether or not we need to know what you're gonna pay him, because we wanna know if we're gonna tell you yes or no to him. That doesn't even make sense. You told me about the other guy, what you're giving him, but you won't tell me about him? It must be pretty astronomical. You just told me about Oren.
Vicky, we can't keep going back and forth.
No, your guys are leaving things out. You are being sneaky here.
Mr. Mayor, are we able to release, you had an offer letter?
Okay, go ahead.
So let me start off with Mr. Gerber is qualified for this position. He was a director of public safety and a town administrator in Beverly. And the offer letter included a base salary of $115,000.
Guys, that's up towards the top end of things. I thought we were saving money. I thought we were gonna stop jumping up to here. You guys got mad at Jack because he kept jumping up. He gave the recreation guy a high amount, and you guys all jumped down his throat. That he did that, but yet you're doing that. Thank you for showing your true colors.
Thank you, Vicky.
Shelby Beatty, 61 Gladiola Street. I just have a short thank you to say on behalf of my Girl Scout troop. First, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, first of all. So, when most people think of Girl Scouts, they think of Girl Scout cookies. But it's honestly so much more than that for our troop and for all of our surrounding troops. For the past 13 years, we've been selling cookies together. And through that process, we've learned responsibility, teamwork, leadership, and perseverance. We've learned how to set goals, manage money, speak to adults with confidence, and support one another when things didn't go as planned. Cookie sales don't just fund our trips, they help to shape who we are. This summer, after we graduate, our troop will take on our very last trip to Iceland. It will be our final adventure as a troop, and a celebration of everything we've worked towards since we were little girls, standing outside grocery stores with order forms. This trip represents growth and independence, and the bonds that we've built through Girl Scouts. It is a reminder that when girls are supported and trusted with responsibility, they rise to the occasion. Thank you for your support of Girl Scouts, for supporting cookie programs, and for believing in what girls can accomplish when they're given the opportunity. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Tracy Riccadelli. How you doing tonight?
How are you doing?
All right, first I want to say that last time I was here, I asked about the road to get fixed, and they were there today, and they fixed it. And thank you so much for doing that. And I really didn't expect it because of all the snow, and I'm like, it's gonna be a while. But as soon as the water went, they were there and they fixed it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So my next thing is, everybody's over here, we're all talking about how much money's going out. My question is, back into the past, how much is coming in? I know at the last meeting it was said that they were behind in their taxes. The last administration was up here stating that we needed to have a pound store. We were gonna make so much money. My question is, how much money are we bringing in? Did it work out? Are we bringing in money? Because I know everybody's getting upset because of all the money that's going out. But if we know how much money is coming in, I mean, are we, you know what I mean? Are we down below where we should be? Is the money they're bringing in, is it helping us? Like, are they up to date? That kind of thing I'm asking. That was it. Yeah, just simple.
Janice, what can you tell us about the dispensaries?
So at this point, we only have one dispenser that has brought in money. And within their first year, it's been about $35,000 that they've brought in. We cannot utilize that as an anticipated revenue until we have an average, which typically takes about 3 years. So it does come in and it gets put as what we call miscellaneous revenue, which can be used as surplus. And then in the future, you know, if it gets larger, we can start to anticipate it in future budgets to offset expenses.
Okay. And
To
what
answer your
else?
other question, now that we finally have a BA, our BA is on top of it. We had conversations this week, and as far as Soldat goes, she is extremely on top of it. So we are working in the right direction with them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Dave LeVay. I live at 506 Monroe Avenue in Edgewater Park, New Jersey. I'm not here from Edgewater Park. I'm here to represent the AARP Driver Safety Program. We've been around since 1979, but unfortunately due to COVID, we had to take a respite. So we're back. And we're looking to expand in southern New Jersey. When I say southern New Jersey, particular areas that are zone business, Brevard, Camden, and Gloucester counties. Pretty big. The purpose of the program is to keep older Americans independent, safe, healthy, and confident on the road. Although the program's aimed for those 50 and above drivers, any licensed driver is able to attend. Now, we're looking for hosts in the area. Hosts are people that can hold the class in their facility. It could be a bank, a hospital, municipal authority, houses of worship, senior center, adult communities, corporations, libraries, community service centers, VFWs, law offices, insurance office, etc. And what does it cost you to host? Nothing. All you need is a room like this with a TV that we can plug our laptop or DVD in or a USB drive, and the room can accommodate up to 25 people. They say you can do a larger class, but as an instructor, I prefer 25. You get more than 25 people in a classroom. It goes off the rails. There's some advantages to it. Good community engagement, delivers award-winning programs, goodwill for your organization. It's a valuable service to the community, and it promotes your organization if you're a private organization. The AARP provides trained instructors, course materials, and promotional materials. The course itself is 6 hours long, and that's required by the Motor Vehicle Commission, not by AARP or me. It can be done in 1 day or 2 days, either on weekends, evenings, or weekdays, whatever your choice is. The cost to attend the programs for AARP members is $20 and $25 for non-members. As benefits of taking the program, you get discounts on car insurance for 3 years. The state mandates 5%. 5% check with your insurance company. Some give you on the entire policy, some on the 3 areas that are required. I think it's PIP, liability, or something, I forget what it was. And you get 2 points off your license. If anybody has any points, they'll take 2 points off. They don't bank them, so don't leave the class thinking you got 2 points to burn. And it also makes you aware of your driving skills. And we'd also like if you have any community events like senior expos or community days or whatnot, to attend so we can help promote this program. As I said, it's kind of been inactive for 5 years. We had one instructor who was in Swedesboro. He's not coming to Pemberton. He does 3 or 4 classes a year down there. Now we've got 4 instructors. One lives rather local, which is Mount Brandy Pemberton. And we have 3 in training, so we're gonna be able to do a lot more. So if you're interested, I have some brochures here, and if you're not, well, thank you for your time.
David, tonight's your lucky night. We just happen to have our Director of Senior Services sitting over there, Mr. Kendall Brunson. If you give him your information, I'm sure he'll work with you on that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, and I'll see if I can attend the course.
You will, but.
I'm senior. I can go.
Hello, how are you tonight? Okay, my name is Ron Stone. I've been at my present property for 48 years now, since 1978, 238 Fort Dix Road. I'm no newcomer to Pemberton. I was born and raised here. I graduated here. Okay? First thing I'd like to do is give a congratulations to the new mayor, and the second to our new BA, which I kind of take with a grain of salt, because although we gained a BA, we lost a very important individual in another department. As far as matters that I've heard tonight, being in law enforcement is not a qualification for that position. I'm sorry, I'm ex-law enforcement, it is not. Okay? To include the zoning qualification on that requires by state a construction background, which I doubt if your law enforcement officer has. So you might want to check on that, okay? Especially before he starts a position, okay? Unfortunately, we got into an early debate here, which I'll be continuing as a formal matter. We had I understand that the ordinance was cut out a couple meetings ago, mandating 100 foot from a pipeline to having to hook up, okay? As part of that, it was said that if you're selling a property, the seller had to hook up to the pipeline before the property was sold. That's illegal. Okay? New Jersey, NJSA 40:55D-8, which is New Jersey Municipal Land Use Law, MLUL. Specifically, any non-conforming use structure existing in the time of passage, that land is covered by that grandfather law, not the individual. So that land is grandfathered whether I sell it or not. And that individual does not have to go in that pipeline. I will be starting a petition in Fort Dix Road where I live, Arnie's Mount Road, and North Pemberton Road, which are gonna be surrounding that Greenberg land. Okay? Because all of those individuals are eligible to be grandfathered. Long before you guys do any of this nonsense. Okay? If that's the fact, then you're wasting $80,000 to run a pipeline for nothing. In addition to that, the water that you're talking about pumping out there is from Pemberton Borough, where for decades they've complained about that water being high in sulfur and smelling like rotten eggs. Where's the safe water study from the state of New Jersey? I've yet to see one. I have an Oprah request in requesting the plans for the pipeline. I'm told by the young lady there is none. I was told by Mr. Doyle tonight that those plans for the Greenberg land has been out for years. Somebody needs to find out and honor this Oprah request. It's a legal request, it has to be given by law. Okay? Almost. Okay? A lot of things I'm watching recently come out of this committee and the zoning committee. Okay? And don't get me wrong, you guys do an excellent job. Okay? But to vote on and try to approve a matter without a plan is against your ethical codes. Which, by the way, we're gonna get into that. I'll put in a separate Oprah request requiring copies of all the ethical commissions. Because when I checked with the state, none of you are registered. Okay? I was told by Mr. Doyle that all of you were. Okay? I went through this with Rosemary when I gave her paperwork on this before. My list is accurate. And it is by the state of New Jersey. Okay? To be on these committees, all of you guys not only need to go through the online studies, but you have to do the paperwork to be approved by the state of New Jersey. Or you're not legal to be up here.
All right, Mr. Stone, first thing I want to say before you waste shoe leather and time, if you more carefully read that ordinance that we just approved at the last meeting, it stated that only new housing have to hook up to the water line. Only new construction have to hook up to the water line.
Understood.
Okay, well, you're.
Someone's gonna sell them that land, and that land is covered.
But the statement you just made a little while ago, sir, said you were covering all homeowners if they sell their home. That's not the case. New construction. Land isn't grandfathered. If you buy the land has been here since the dinosaurs. So you can't grandfather the land for that.
And by this code,
But if you
the state of New
build,
Jersey says the land is covered.
if you build new construction,
The building,
it's obviously gonna be built on old land. You're not gonna bring in new
the
land, right?
building is not covered, the land is.
Okay. And to clarify our discussion, wasn't a disagreement, it was a discussion prior to council meeting starting. I told you that the plans for the Greenberg farm itself, the development, KHAV, have been out for years. It didn't say the water. To pay for a plan for the water to get to there, we have to approve the water first. Otherwise, there's no place for the money to come from to pay for the plans to get the water there.
And you wanna do that with a bond so that we all owe for it.
If you heard the beginning of the meeting, when we walked into this is a prior administration, Okay, so this is something that was dropped on the administration and the council that's here now, sir. It started out as a taxpayer's toll of $12 million. You were paying for everything for that development. When this gentleman to my right and his predecessor came in, they got 12 million down to 2 million.
We're not supposed to be paying any of it.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you. I will shake your hand and high five you right now, sir, because we're in agreement. But it's not our decision. It was a decision made by a previous administration and mayor that shook hands and signed on the dotted line that we are now stuck with, and they're no longer here. The only thing you face by not honoring the agreement at $2 million cost now is more millions of dollars in lawsuits, and then guess what they're gonna do after they milk us dry? They're gonna build it anyway.
Don't give them the water.
Thank you, sir.
If you don't send that pipeline through, they can't do anything. Not only that, but you have to pay taxes to even be able to do that. What is the, online, I saw that this was a meeting that issue was being brought up. Tonight I was being told it is not. What meeting is that being brought
It's
up?
on the agenda, sir. There's an agenda in the back. Did you read that for the ordinances? The water,
I have all the paperwork.
that is on there.
What
Stay
is the
tuned.
date, what is the date that it's being voted on?
Tonight.
Tonight.
Stay tuned.
Yep. Thank you for your time, sir.
Marie Reynolds, Rise from North Drowns Mills. I just
Hello,
want to
Ms.
say that, I would not, I tell you what, I would never consider running for public office, but, because you want to do it, and then you sit here and you get beat up by people. Honestly, we should pull back just a little bit and remember the things that have come before this administration. I mean, honestly, people wouldn't even know all the background on anything that's going on now if this council hadn't come in and begun advertising, filming the meetings, live streaming the meetings, letting people know. I mean, what people know now, I mean, I guess it's healthy because we're having discussion about it, because people finally know, but the things that happened behind closed doors with the previous administration put us in this dire situation. And I have to say, I want to say tonight that I'm grateful that we're beginning to pull out of some of this. The Hovnanian development is coming. It's been coming for a dozen years. It wasn't your deal, but it's coming. The shopping center is coming, and I'm glad to see that these things are coming, and I hope that everybody begins to see, along with the questions that we still have from the previous administration, begins to see that we are doing something. These things are finally getting done, and they know they're getting done because of the transparency that you've offered, and I just don't want you to go home feeling totally beat up.
Thanks, Marie.
Thank you, Marie. Appreciate the support.
Thank you, Marie.
I know.
She wasn't first, Alex was there before.
Late.
I was here, but I was getting everybody the opportunity to speak first. Good evening, everybody. My name is Marty Grafwinger. I'm the proud president of the BMIA. We are the oldest civic organization in town, celebrating 106 wonderful years of community service and dedication. But tonight I want to talk about an important topic that affects us all, lake management. I recently attended a meeting with the Environmental Commission where I learned some significant details about our current lake management plan. One alarming point is that we haven't lowered the lake in 2 years. And before that, they were lowered at the wrong times, leading to some troubling conditions. The duckweed in the lake has become so intense that it's challenging to paddle through it. If we want our community to enjoy our beautiful lakes with kayaks, canoes, and paddle boats that we all cherish, we need effective weed management. The proposed spot treatment plan involves entering the yards of residents with lakefront properties or using boats for treatment. This raises concerns, especially as some residents have plants growing along their lake shores they wish to protect. Additionally, this treatment plan comes with a price tag of over $50,000, prompting us to explore better options. Historical practices like lowering the lakes have proven effective in managing weeds without resorting to chemicals. While it may be too late to implement changes for this year, it's essential for us to seek proper advice on the best management strategies moving forward. by investigating the appropriate timing for lowering the lakes and providing advance notice to residents, we can develop a plan that both benefits our ecology and our community. Now let's shift some gears and discuss some exciting upcoming events we have in store for our community. This Sunday, February 22nd at 2 p.m., we will kick things off with our History Expo. This year, we'll feature some very special local guests and provide free refreshments for all attendees. It's a wonderful opportunity to delve into our town's rich history, so don't miss it. And for everybody, that's at the BMIA building this Sunday, 2 o'clock, 40 Arbutus Street. Next, join us for Mardi Gras karaoke sing-along on March 6th at 7 p.m. That's a Friday night. We will have Mardi Gras masks to give away, and everyone gets beads when they come in. With all of our fun Friday nights, BMI members eat for free, enjoying delicious hot dog snacks and drinks. Now, if you're wondering how to become a member, I'm glad you asked. Membership is only $15 per person and $20 per family for an entire year. That's right, just once a year. I do have membership cards with me tonight and everywhere that I go. So if you would like to purchase a membership or renew your membership, feel free to come see me after the meeting. Coffee with a Cop is scheduled for March 22nd at 2 p.m. That's a Sunday. This event will feature our Chief of Police, Glass, discussing community safety and answering the questions you might have. Finally, don't forget about the brunch with the Easter Bunny on Saturday, March 28th at 10 a.m. We will have a photo op with the Easter Bunny, and our special guest Harvey from a local bunny rescue here in Brownsville is called Steph's Community Pet Rescue. Come out and meet Harvey and learn all about the wonderful work that Stephanie does for the community. Tickets to that are just $10, and that includes brunch food, and kids under 10 attend for free. I also have tickets with me tonight, so feel free to grab some after the meeting. Thank you very much for your attention, and let's work together to protect our beautiful lakes and celebrate our community.
Thank you, Marty.
My name is Leonard Newhouse. I'm a commercial solar developer and also residential. And I'm here just basically because I've done a number of installs at presidential lakes and over the other side there, but I pretty much install all over the state. We're in a major energy crisis, okay? The price per megawatt in the past 3 years, auctioned by PJM, who's our regional transmission organization, went from $49 per million kilowatt hours to $320. That's almost an 800% increase in 3 years. So last year, we all got hit with a 20% increase on our bill at JCP&L, June 1st. This year, they're saying the same thing again, except now we had one of the worst winters in years, cold-wise, and natural gas doubled last year, or last week it doubled, and they make up 90% of our fossil fuels used in our generation supply plants. So there's another reason prices are going up again. I know Mikey Sherrill said she's gonna put a cap on raising energy costs. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna hit you with service charges, they're gonna hit you with societal benefits, whatever. They're gonna look to get their money, even though they're showing $1 billion profit. If you look at the financials of these utility companies, they're all making money, but yet they keep bilking the rate payers, which are us, okay? What we can do is, and there's another problem here, the other side is Donald Trump's big beautiful bill took away the federal tax incentives. So as of July 4th of this year, the federal tax incentive for funders, a funder is a bank or a hedge fund who puts the money up to build a project so the municipality does not have any money out of pocket, and I'll basically take your JCP&L bill, I'll cut your bill in half, that's my bottom floor, and if I need an adder, I need to put a new roof on, I need an external structure like a carport, or if I have to put a ground mount in, that would raise the rate a little, but it wouldn't be astronomical. That would be built into the cost of the install. But the point is, the big beautiful bill, as of December, the funders got modified accelerated cost recovery, which is depreciation, and they got a 30% income tax credit. That accounted for 60% of the net cost of the project back in year one. So if they lay out $1 million, they're getting $600,000 back year one on federal tax incentives. And the other side is they're gonna get the ratepayer monthly bill, and they're also gonna get SRACs. They're able to sell the energy that it produces back to the state for 10 cents a kilowatt hour for 15 years guaranteed. So when you take those income sources back to the funder, these hedgies are making 13 to 15% a year guaranteed on their money by funding the project. Well, as of July 4th, whatever project is not started, it's going to 17% from 60%. Funders are pulling out, they're closing down. And I know this because my funder is closing down, and he's huge. He's done projects all over the country. Because if you're not able to make double digits, it's not feasible. So therefore, my company's name is Riskless Power. Why? When you go solar, the sun is the lowest cost to produce energy. Nobody owns the sun, it's free, unlike all these other sources. So we can guarantee you a rate, written in stone, you're not gonna pay any more, and we're gonna maintain the system for 25 years. Based on my early assumptions, you're looking at a $35 million savings over 25 years. You're looking at saving $300,000 a year with no money out of pocket, and I can do all energy efficiency for any light that has to be changed out. I can change them all to LEDs free of charge. That's what I'm offering, that's what I do. I've done a number of projects. I've done hotel in Atlantic City, I've done strip malls, I've done warehouses, I've done trucking companies, whatever. Everybody's happy, everybody makes money. So I'm here to just say, I'd like to get the process going. Give me a contact, call for an electric bill. I'll give it to the engineers, design team. They tell me how much production the facility can produce. I'll match it up against your usage, and I'll give you a bottom line number. And that's where it goes. And that's why I'm here. Because you're one of the few townships in the whole state that I don't see any solar on. And I'm all over the state. So that's what I like to do, Harry.
Thank you. I did give your information to our UBA. I'm sure she'll be reaching out to you for some more information.
All right, thank you very much. I'd love to help, believe me. I'm making you money. I'm your white knight. Oh yeah, my cookies, yeah. You got that right. Thank you.
All right, anybody else for public comment? Come on up there, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle Foreman. Okay. I was strictly forbidden to come up here and talk about the videos. But I'm gonna get a bottom line answer on this. If it kills me, I'll be here every week, every meeting until I get the bottom line answer on this.
Come on now.
But I'm not gonna tell you who said it. Okay. First, I would like to say, but as far as the lawsuits, I've been here before, I talked about it before. After a while, I said publicly, this is getting ridiculous. But I'm just gonna say something. I don't know who to blame, this, that, but I did say, at the, Pine Barrens Tribune on April 12th, it says here, Michelle Foreman voiced opposition to the settlement of the Pittman suit, declaring the mayor must pay and let the chips fall where they will. Otherwise she charged, if he doesn't have to pay, when is he gonna change, okay? So here's the thing, you know, my opinion on the lawsuits right now, I feel some kind of way, but still, you know, I know the residents are saying things, but still, I just wanna say that, it was the council who said the mayor didn't have to pay the $50,000. If he had to do that the first time there was a lawsuit, you know, maybe he would have treated you girls more respectfully. So I have an issue with that, just gonna say that. Also, I have things to talk about, but I just wanna say, welcome. Good to see you, Ken Gerber, tonight, Mr. Ken Gerber, this evening. Just wanna say that before your time with Patriarcha, there was, Mr. Gonzalez. You think you had a part. Boy, people were really giving him a hard time. But I don't know if anybody knew him or not, but he was very helpful to me. He was amazing. He met with me probably 3 times to talk about the the program I'm going through with you, I have a 10-page letter. Yeah, I liked him, I love that guy. So, I'm just gonna say, I don't think I should say too much, but I did know Ken Gerber's mother and his, wife, and they were two of the most beautiful people I ever met in my entire life. And I've known him from 22, when I was 22 years old when I met him and his family. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't know all about it, but if they give you a hard time, hey. I've known this man for a long time, I think you can take it. I'm just gonna say this, okay. I'm not gonna go into the history, because I've been here before. I'm just gonna go into what happened the last time. Amy said that, she would do the videos if she was asked to do it. And then you said that, you promised to talk to the other council people, which you did not do after that. And I talked to Harry, Josh, and Dan Dewey. You're off the hook. You're off the hook, Harry, just because, not because, well, anyway. Because I didn't hear about you, I didn't talk to you about it. I don't know if he talked to you about it either. Okay, my thing is, the last time she said that her computer doesn't do video. Okay? It did 2 years ago. I got 2023 in video. I asked, somebody pushed, this the whole thing's not sitting right with me. You did not talk to the council members. I feel like if this is a court of law, this is against my constitution to not get a fair hearing. You know, I just would like an answer. I don't want you to answer a different question like you did last time, because you said it's not in the law that she has to. That's not my question. That's what you said last time. My question was, her computer can't do video today? She has a new video since 2 years ago when she did video before? That's my question.
I thought you said you weren't gonna talk about the video tonight.
No, I was told not to, but I've never listened to certain people.
Thanks, Joe, you're fired.
Uh-oh. I didn't tell.
Sure.
Mrs. Foreman, I never told you my computer could not do video.
I'll get it on the video. You said, the last meeting, you said that this computer doesn't do video. It says it. I'll bring you the video. I'll let everybody listen to it.
So you got
I
video?
said, it is
I
not doing video.
have it on my audio. It says, she said. My computer tonight that I have does not do video.
I said it is not doing video.
Okay, maybe you did.
We
Maybe you
stopped
did.
doing the videos back
That's
in
good to know.
2023, the last time we discussed this.
Right.
Hey, Michelle, again, I'm gonna be the bad guy, and I'm gonna tell you,
First of all,
we're not required
First of
by
all, you
law.
don't have to repeat yourself, because if you're planning and zoning, you don't have to keep repeating yourself.
Okay.
Okay, I just feel like I got a bad deal. I feel like I was told that Mr. Biancanni was going to talk to the council people, and he never did. The next one, it was reorganization meeting. I cut you guys a break and didn't bring it up. Although I found out there was a economic development committee meeting that was not announced, that I don't understand why those meetings are secret, why the public's not allowed to some of those meetings. I don't think, that doesn't sit right with me. You can say private, public's not invited, I don't like that.
You're entitled to your opinion, Michelle, thank you very much.
Okay, all I'm gonna say is one more thing, is my time up?
Yeah.
I didn't hear the bell ring. So you're just saying the time's up, I didn't hear the bell
You said you
ring.
were done.
We shut it off because you
clock.
stopped talking and we started answering your questions.
You said you were done. We
But
stopped
did
the
it
clock.
ring?
We stopped
She
it.
stopped it.
Mrs. Foreman, at the time I stopped it, it had 17 seconds left.
Okay, I have 17 seconds to say that they were claiming that they didn't know about the videos. I got handed a video So they were videoing when they said they weren't. And that was wrong, and they're saying that that wasn't true. But at the meeting, the mayor said, Amy, how long have we known about the meetings being videotaped? And she gave the answer, it was quite a few months. It was in the newspaper, and I think we should have transparency at these meetings. I would like to know one answer. Why are some of the economic development committees meetings closed to the public? Somebody have an answer for that, but you wanna be transparent.
I can answer that. They have a regularly scheduled meeting, and then they have a subcommittee meeting that talks about an event they're trying to plan, and that's not open to the public.
Okay, well, just to say, the work sessions at the schools are open to the public. Maybe you could reconsider opening them to the public, so everybody knows what's going on. So we don't wake up with a warehouse in our backyard, or solar panels in our backyard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, shit.
I had a feeling.
Anyone else on public comment?
Okay, we're not doing a solar pitch. It's gonna be on
Good evening, everybody in general. I got several questions, and I see the head department is here. My fourth question, what I'm going to bring it up, since we got right now two cannabis business in town. I like to know to the business, the DA administrator, how much money that we've been got for the first one we open it up. When I used to attend the meetings, they told us, we approved those and will be a lot of money coming in. Can anybody tell me that it's a year? You can answer later. Okay, my next question is going to go for the police, for the fire chief, Mr. Agostoni. I got a question. My question is, the same tower where we have in Presidential Heights, why the tower doesn't have any signal or any red tape or something on the top? I live a block away from there. Our field is used for helicopter and emergency. And when it's very foggy, do you think a helicopter will be able to see that tower? If there is not light up, there is nothing in there. I beg you to do something about it. We got plenty of residents in there. I am a block away from the tower. From my porch, I can see the tower. There is no light, there is nothing on the top. Regardless if that tower is not finished, should be a security contact as a firefighter, as I know. You can answer me when I'm done. Okay, now this is for the business administrator. MUA, where the money goes on. See, it's a different accountant. And I got for the solid waste, where the money goes on. And for the taxes, we got plenty houses in Pemberton Township. We should be rich. Besides, after they clean us out with the previous administration, you still can have a lot of money. I know when I'm going to come and pay my taxes, how much I pay. Figure out for each house, it's here. The business administrator can just tell me. And for the,
I'm going to bring it up, is there anybody here for the public work? Probably they can answer me that question also. The signs, for no litter signs, they were supposed to be putting on Spring Lake Boulevard through 70. Did they put the signs already? I wanna know. And what did I been seeing, and I brought it up to their attention in the other meeting. There is like a warehouse in PL. We don't have any warehouse in PL. That's the old lake store. I walk around there the other day. It looked like they've been replaced, the piece of the board, the wood they got there. I know there is a lot of empty houses in there, okay? And I also had, well, the business administrator who ain't answered me a lot of questions. That's what I wanna know. How much money? And I know that we don't have enough firefighter to fight a fire in case in the cannabis business is a fire in there. But guess what, Mr. Agustoni? If I was a firefighter for Pemberton Township at this time, and it's a fire in there, and I have a house on fire, guess what? Bye-bye, weeds. I won't even turn around and just go down there, even if you tell me to, I have to go there. That's my responsibility, no. The answer is no. A resin is worth more than the weeds there. Okay, I leave it away. Oh, I have for the recreation department. That's the last question for him, and he can answer me when I'm done. I was approached by one of the residents in Presidential Lakes, where she come to seniors, and she found that out that a year they had 16 trips that the township paid for the seniors. But they cut that off in 12 trips. Well, they did their math. They want to know where the money is going on, since they cut 4 trips for them. And that's for the recreation department. And okay, now I'm done.
Okay, let me go backwards here. I think the recreation department, you wanted to know about the bus trips?
Yes.
We approved, I believe, 10 bus trips this year?
12.
Yeah, what's that?
12. They approved only 12. That's what the lady told me. I just telling you where I got the information.
Yes, so we approved those bus trips this year. They're already scheduled, I believe. You can, go ahead, Kendall.
Yes, we actually, we approved, 12, it was 14 last year. The, price went up by $6,000, and that was an exorbitant amount of money. And also, for the fact that, like, even for instance, January this year, with our snowstorm, we weren't even able to have that bus trip, so we actually, looking back to, they were having bus trips twice a month, and we actually talked to the recreation, senior council, and they agreed that they don't necessarily need, 2 trips a month, so there's other things that they can put the money to, for the dues that the, seniors pay to do other, events outside the bus trips.
Okay, and as far as the dispensary money, I think that was answered earlier. We had the one for 1 full year, we made $35,000, but it's their first year. The other one hasn't even been open yet a week. So that answers that question. Chief Augustoni isn't here tonight to answer any of your questions about the firefighter. Now,
Any firefighter.
the cell tower, and as far as having a light on it, I don't know. I'm sure if it's required by law.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
As a firefighter, I know better than that.
I'll check on that for you. And you had a question about solid waste?
Yes, where that money goes? All this money.
It goes to the landfill, the county-run landfill. What do you mean?
Where the money goes? Everybody paid $300 some a year.
We spend on average, I think I just looked at the budget today, $1.3 million last year for dumping fees. That's what it costs for dumping, and I believe our trash contract is around $2 million. Candace?
No, our trash contract's, about another 1.4 this year. We estimate the tipping fees to also be about 1.4 And then, of course, you have, minimal salaries associated with somebody who is handling the solid waste as well. So that's all appropriated in the current fund, and then we bring in the solid waste fees or the revenue to offset that, against your taxes.
Okay, so about $2.7 million is going out just in fees. That's where it goes.
Okay, what happened with the water money? A lot of people pay a lot of money for their water. I'm lucky, I got my well.
Okay.
That money goes in one, they have a different account.
Candace,
you have an answer for that?
where the money goes? Explain that.
I mean, the money goes to maintenance of the water lines as well. I believe this was acquired in, I don't know, Tom back there, in 2020. To my understanding, the water lines needed maintenance on it. And they were appropriating that directly out of the fees. The fees were only raised a few years ago. So we are still working up a way for it to be a self-liquidating utility.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and I had one question, the fire chief is here, the police chief is here. I got something for him. This is from, for Chief Glass. I just like to know, what are the requirements for your code enforcement?
The police chief doesn't run code enforcement. That's run by community development.
Okay, whoever that run the code enforcement, you tell me what kind of requirement that person needs.
Do you have any answer for that, Ron?
So the code enforcement officers are trainees for 1 year, and they're shadowed with their superior. And they're taught about the code and everything. You need a driver's license. It's all in civil service under the job title specifications. But if you would like, Mrs. Phillips, I can get you a copy of it. But they do have to be a trainee for 1 solid year before they can actually be a code enforcement officer.
Well, I just hope that those code enforcement who works in here, they can tell the difference between the kind of weeds or the grass we got in here and flowers and all that. And I need you that way.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips.
Thank you.
Just to piggyback off what Ms. Phillips said, how many code enforcement officers do we have now, and how many are we looking to have total?
We have.
Ask all your questions first, Joe.
Okay. We gotta do it like that. We ain't just answer the damn question. That's the form of government, we gotta change that shit right
That
there.
comes in your 5 minutes.
Jeez, Christ. Okay, I wanted to ask where we at with the shopping center? Any movement on it? And who owns the property now? Does the township still own the property, or does the new developer own the property now? Have they signed the papers? Who's paying for that demolition? Is the township paying for that demolition? The other questions I had, is there any other new businesses coming into town that maybe, we don't know about yet, or we're allowed to talk about? Anything along Juliustown Road? What's happening with that site where the Browns Mills Emergency Squad building is? Is that gonna stay completely empty like that? Is there any plans in the works for that? Where are we at on the Tractor Supply? Are they completely pulled out? Or is there another spot where they might think about putting a store? That's about it. I had some questions for Mr. McNulty, but I don't think I wanna go there yet. I mean, I live on a dirt road, and I know I've asked this question about the road grader. Does anybody run that road grader? Could I get my road graded this year? I haven't seen that road grader come down that dirt road in over 5 years. And I saw a brand new one out here at the car show you had out here, the Touch and Feel, whatever. Brand new, pretty road grader. Does anybody ever run it, or? That's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it. I'm gonna keep harping about that road grader till I see it coming down my road.
Ro, you wanna take first shot there?
Okay, so we have 2 full-time code enforcement officers and currently 2 part-time code enforcement officers. And they are paid under the UCC trust.
As far as the uptown, we still own the property. Our lawyers, both theirs and ours, are working on the contract. I believe we're looking at a mid-March signing of that, agreement. They're gonna pay to tear it down, What else did you ask about that property? I couldn't
Any other new development along Juliestown Road? Anything processes?
Juliestown Road,
I mean, we have the empty Bowen's Pharmacy, that's gonna become another eyesore, I guess. We got Williams Supply down there, just sitting there, it's been there, Browns Mill Supply, we got Hungry Piney sitting there.
I can only talk about the EMS building specifically. I know Mr. Ellie is, coming in and negotiating for that. Whether it happens or not, we don't know, we're gonna work with them best we can, but until that develops further, I can't say anything more about that. That's the only new projects that I know of right now. Ro, anything else?
So, Joe, so myself and Ro are looking at some of the properties you mentioned, the old pharmacy, the Williams Supply. Ro does have some contacts with some different developers, so we are discussing our ideas with them. There is some interest, nothing specific, but trust me, it's not lost on us. We're moving forward and trying to get something in those places.
And since, any movement on Sycamore Hall?
We have a meeting with them next Friday, the owners of that property right now.
Mr. McNaughton, can you comment on the grader, sir?
Yes, sorry, first let me apologize. We haven't been to your road, I will make sure that is corrected immediately. Short answer is yes, we have a road grader. I have multiple operators, they do exceptional work. The fact that we missed your road is not acceptable, and I will address it first thing tomorrow morning. If you have this issue again, please don't wait, give me a call so I can deal with it, but I will review the rotation schedule with my operators. When the road grader starts going back out on its normal rotation, we'll make sure that your road is first on that list so we can get you back in the cycle. We will make the improvement.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.
Tractor Supply, what about that? Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, it's about Tractor Supply. What about Tractor Supply?
We have no idea on that, that wasn't our deal to start with.
Tractor Supply has pulled out completely.
Give me the keys, Andy, I'll drive it for you.
Thanks a lot.
Seeing no more public comment, we'll move on to.
I just have a question.
We have your name for the record, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry, my name is Kim Davy. We live over on Gladiola Street, and we have an empty property next to us, and it belongs to the people behind us, adjacent to Gladiola's. So they rent the property. Is there some code enforcement or anybody that can come out there and contact the people who own the property? We've had 2 trees fall on our property that we've had to claim under our insurance, and the neighbor on the other side adjacent to the property has also had trees fall on their property.
If you would give Ms. Flaherty there the exact address, I'm sure she can get somebody out there to look into it.
Because, we came down to try to get the address, but because it's a renter, we can only go through them, and we've asked them to let the landlord know, and we've heard nothing. And the number that is on their information, nobody answers. And you can't leave a message.
I Just
anybody to
give
get
Ms.
back to
Riley
you,
your
but.
address and that address, and she'll get somebody to check on it. That's all.
Ma'am, I can assure you firsthand, as I'm sure that young lady sitting behind you, Mr. Reynolds, can also, the township does hold property owners accountable for dangerous trees that are threatening other properties.
Okay.
I can assure you.
Okay, yeah, because we've had to change insurances because of it. And we paid out of pocket for the second tree that fell on our property, and I'm not sure about the neighbor, what he did about his. He put up brand new fencing and he just lost 3 pounds of it on his property.
All right, sure, come on up, yeah. Don't be bashful, come on up.
John Coyne, 305 Coyote Trail, Country Lakes. First off, I'd like to say thank you. You guys are doing a wonderful job. You are creating and trying your best to create what was wrong in this town. Transparency in my eyes is a lot better than it used to be. 2 things I have is one, solicitors coming door to door, sort of annoying. I don't know if it was brought up in the past or not, excuse me if it was. A lot of times they just don't have, I guess, the permits that are required, they just knock them. We had a guy doing where the hell this was the other day on my camera. I don't know. 2, it probably been brought up in the past as well, my garbage is back down, it's been down to one time a week. But the price never went down. Is that something that could be done to maybe 2 times a week again? To what it used to be, same price, I don't know. So that's all I have, and thank you.
As far as your trash, you know, we changed that to 1 time a week on this new trash contract to try to save us some money. So that was the best way we felt to save some money on that. As far as the door knocking, I don't know, do we have an ordinance about solicitors? Do they have to have a permit? Okay, so.
Are they supposed to have it on them, like showing like?
They have to, I can tell you firsthand, and the chief is here, he'll second that, any solicitors in this town that go door to door first have to go to the police department to be cleared. They are a thorough background check, correct, chief, on each individual? Go ahead.
So they all get a background check, they also get issued an ID from the town.
Because the one gentleman that was doing that floss, whatever, he also was wearing a badge at the time and didn't have any.
Gotcha. Yeah, if you do see anyone like that, please call us. I myself have issued them. Do you have a permit? No, you don't? Here's a summons.
None of them ever have a permit when we
No,
ask them.
no, I've definitely issued permits.
When we ask them if they have a permit, they all say no, or they say yes, and they don't show it to us.
Ask to show, ma'am, if not, ask them to leave your property, otherwise that's.
Sometimes they take forever to leave.
I understand, that's what we have a police department for, and I can tell you firsthand, they enforce that strongly. They're escorted out, I've escorted them out of town personally, out of town, at the chief's request.
Thank you.
That's for your safety.
Yes, thank you.
All right, no further public comment, let's move on to resolutions. All items listed on the transcript are considered to be routine by the township council and will be enacted by one motion. Should the council members wish to discuss the consent agenda item separately, that item can be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Does anybody have any problems with anything, any of the resolutions?
Harry, I'd like to talk about 70-20-25 and 78-20-25.
All right, Mr. Dewey, you have the floor. We'll do the consent agenda on the rest, and then we'll give you the floor. And looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion for a consent agenda as amended.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. DeSharler?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes. All right, Danny, you have the floor on 7/10/2026.
Yes, for the record, I am not against disabled veterans. Last meeting, I think we had 5 or 6. This week we have 7. I suggest that we form a committee. Talked to Harry the other day about this. We gotta get a hold of Tiber, get a committee, and if we have to go to Trenton, we have to say our piece, because we cannot afford this mandate that the state put on us. We have to get reimbursed for this. You know, these people, you know, they're disabled, they get their taxes wiped out, but we still have to pay them as a township. Last year, it was over $2.5 million that we had to put out. I have no idea the way this New Year's going, what it's gonna be at the end of this year. We have to challenge the state on this. You know, they make a mandate and they dump it on us. Willingboro and Pemberton Township is the highest communities with veterans, and we're not gonna be able to survive if we have to keep paying out taxes and not getting any money. They have to come up and do something for our towns.
So Danny, we get zero reimbursement on that? We get nothing back from the state?
No, it's a mandate from the state. They made the rules, they dumped it on the towns. We have to write the taxes off, but we still have to pay the school tax, the county tax out of our pockets. And we're just not gonna be able to do it forever.
Yeah, Danny, I think I told you, I talked to Senator Tiber's office yesterday, and they said they are reintroducing the bill that Senator Tiber sponsored last year that died in the Senate. As soon as he has the new bill number, he's gonna send it to me, so we can probably make up a resolution to try to get that approved. I also reached out to Assemblywoman Katz's office, they said they were gonna look into it. Go ahead, Mayor.
So the state does reimburse one veteran's benefit. So every veteran gets a $250 tax credit. The state does reimburse that. It's ballpark, but last year was almost $300,000 reimbursed. But I think that sets precedence to ask for that additional rebate, at least a percentage of it, something.
I agree, like we've all said, none of us are against the veterans getting their benefit, but it's unfair to our municipality and other municipalities to carry the whole load, we should get something back. It's the people up above that have failed us on that, but, when a veteran comes here and applies for that is their right, we have to approve it, But yes, Danny, we will definitely, try to get something together and go forward to the state, if we gotta go up to the state office and try to get some of that money back. Even a percentage of it would be better than nothing.
So to be clear for those that are writing numbers down, we've forgiven about 2.5 million, and after the state's reimbursement, which they mandate we do this, we reduced 2.5 to only 2.2 out of our residents' pockets, roughly. Okay, thank you, man.
And with that, is anybody willing to make a motion?
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. DeSharlo?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes, now 78, 2026, Danny?
Yeah, the only question I had on that, and I think Roe could probably answer it. There's plenty of old houses out there that do not have the original windows and they've all been remodeled. Are we keeping, in other words, when they go out to an older house, is there a list where they don't have to get involved with the lead paint test? But we discussed this like 2 years ago.
So what is required, Dan, is that, all rentals that are built prior to 1978, when they submit the application for either renewal or they're becoming a new landlord, that is when the paint is checked. This company is a certified company that goes in, does the certificate. If they need remediation, then they issue that in a finding report. It has to get remediated, and then the money that the township's responsible for they take out of their fee and pay the state of New Jersey on our behalf.
But I'm just saying, this is a one-time test.
For each home, it's a one-time test, like you wouldn't go back and, well, I'll say it's good for,
2 years.
yeah, 2 years.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, the biggest thing is window trims around windows is the biggest thing for lead. You know, the kids are chewing on the windowsills. And the point that I'm trying to say is if there's a landlord in town that had an older house and had it remodeled and had it tested 10 years ago, there was no lead in the place. When the renewal comes up, do they have to go through the process again?
No, if they're certified, they have a certificate that there was no lead finding. It's mainly because of the paints that were used, prior to 1978.
I understand that. Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to pass it.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Charleroy?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes. And before we start on the ordinances, we're gonna take a 5-minute break by request here.